What's up guys, we have another driving test leaving from Birmingham, Garretts Green. This is the full video from the fail that I uploaded last night, which seemed to have kicked off quite a bit of discussion about crossroads. Some people thought it may have been the examiner being cautious due to previous actions, so this video will show you the full extent of their driving. They started off well with good all-round observations leaving the test centre. Down this road a good speed was maintained. He kept to about 20 miles per hour just above and slowed down when the situation got a bit tighter. When approaching a crossroads like this, if you do see people emerging, make sure you check your mirrors, centre mirror to see what's behind you and the side mirrors as well. The reason is in case you need to slow down, you need to know what's behind you or if you need to change your positioning. At the end of this junction they've been asked to turn right. They do stop with the car slightly over the giveaway line. Other cars will still manage to get past them, but they did pick up a minor fault here. When approaching this junction, if you do approach it a little bit slower, that way you can really practice where to stop. A general rule of thumb is side mirror matched up with the brown part of the road. And don't let your side mirror go over that, generally that means that your bumper will be over. Remember, this does change depending on what car you're driving, that's just generally how I find works best. As they come off the roundabout, they position to the left hand side and they would have checked their right mirror. The positioning here is fantastic, it just eliminates the risk of anyone not being able to get past you. Plus the normal driving position is the left hand side of the road. The road they're entering does get a little bit tight at times. With the mini roundabout coming up, they see the van and they start to slow down. It doesn't have any indicators on, they could have progressed, so they pick up one minor fault here for hesitation. At this junction, the view to the right was okay, so they keep the car rolling and they move out. With junctions like this, second gear will be your best friend. It can go nice and slow, you can keep the car moving. That way, if there is an opportunity to go, you can take it. It's much easier to keep the car rolling if it's safe to do so. Is one of the most popular places in my opinion to get pulled over. So many people I see stop at this route, normally a sat nav gets set up. Down this road there's going to be a lot of weaving in and out, there's always cars parked up on the side. Remember, every time you pass them you must check your centre right mirror and your centre left mirror to return. The reason your instructor stresses about this so much is because think about it this way. If you get more than 4 faults in one category, it can turn into a serious fault. If you need to pass 5-6 parked cars, then you're not off to a good start. He's got a nice good angled start here, really good observations, didn't pick up any faults here. At the end of this road, they've been asked to go right and then left. Quite often at this part, you will be following a sat-nav as well. The sat-nav will probably say exactly the same thing. If you're unsure, double check, look at the map, the blue line will be where you're taking the turn. On approach here, scan the zebra crossings nice and early. The last thing you want to be doing is speeding over them when there's somebody waiting to cross. Now, in my opinion, this is the trickiest part of this test route. The sat-nav will say they are going right. As you can see, there is 2 busy roads coming from either side. There is a little island in the middle where you position yourself to not block any of the oncoming vehicles. He didn't stop in the middle because he saw there was only one vehicle coming his way, so he just kept the car rolling and managed to keep going. He gave the white van plenty of room. It makes it easy for you if you don't have to stop. You'll notice there's 2 ways that you can turn left here. It doesn't matter which one you take, but the left-hand one that is here now is much easier to take. It sets you off in a nice good angle to take your turn. If you did take the other one, it's not the end of the world as long as it was safe to do so. Now down here, you sometimes get pulling up on the right or parallel park. But it seems like today we're not getting either of that. Coming up shortly is a 20 mph zone. Make sure you're always scanning for signs and that you're below 20 miles per hour before you get to the sign. As soon as you cross that sign, you must be doing 20. You'll notice there was a slight swerve to the left there. They thought they were going to go down that road, but then they realised last second. They would have picked up 1 minor there for positioning. Entering into this new road, you need to really look into it and make sure there's no oncoming vehicles. Because your side of the road is blocked, you want to make sure that you don't enter and then stop somebody who's correctly proceeding. They've been asked to go at the end of the road right. Sometimes people get confused because they see the turning, which is a no entry, and they don't see the signs. Don't get caught out by that. When they emerged, the gear was too high, therefore quite a lot of power dropped from the engine. It's not a dangerous fault, but it does put you at risk of stalling. They got one fault for use of gears. So far, they're well over halfway through their driving test and they only have 4 minor faults, which is fantastic. They haven't done the maneuver yet, but they have done the show me and the tell me questions. This roundabout can be quite busy at times. It's only a little one, but there's a lot of cars coming and going. Don't rush your gap, make sure it's safe. If you do have to stop because there's quite a lot of cars, have your feet ready as soon as you do come to a stop. Now, we're roughly about 5 minutes away from the test centre, only 4 minors, we're doing good. Now, this is where things get controversial. They've been asked to take the next road on the right. There is only one vehicle in front of them and that is it. As we're all taught, if there's one vehicle in front of us, we are allowed to enter as a second vehicle. The turning for this one is quite far to the right as it is quite a large crossroads. So if you're turning right here or for the other side, you need to go quite far forwards to position yourself for the turning. The car in front starts to move forwards for their right turn and positioning themselves slightly, but they don't go anywhere near as far forward as they could do. They could have gone much further forwards than this and positioned themselves for the point of turn better. This means that my student was a little bit further back than everyone could have been. But if you look in the rear view line, he is past the point of commitment. When the truck moves, you'll see the light goes amber then red. They take the opportunity to clear the junction, but then the examiner slams the brakes on. They said they didn't have enough time to clear the crossing. Now, I think they had a good 8-9 seconds to get past the crossing before the first vehicles would have been in their path. And you are permitted to wait in the middle of a crossroads as a second vehicle. So because the examiner took control, this does go down as a dangerous fault. Now, I completely disagree with this decision as I did count, like I said, a good 8-9 seconds before the vehicles would have crossed their path. My student was making good progress at that time, they weren't moving off slowly. Now, at the end of it, the examiner did say mainly it's because the vehicle in front had positioned too far back, but I still disagree with the decision. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can really do about it. I think the thing that makes this even more heartbreaking and a little bit more personal as this examiner had failed my student before. And with only 4 driving faults, you know what? That's, in my opinion, is a fantastic drive. On the way back to the test centre, my student would have known that they failed because the examiner had to take control. Now, the thing that has made me really pleased is they haven't let it affect their driving whatsoever. On the return drive, it was just as good as when it started. Now they're at the end of their test, all they have left to do is their manoeuvre. They're doing a reverse bay park, and again, they did it without fault. I can't show you the full thing because there are examiners everywhere, but one dangerous fault, 4 minor faults. I think the result was very, very unfortunate.